Hello and welcome. I want to come to you all with the most recent updates I can find regarding the next stimulus check. And what I've found won't be the favorite news I've ever presented, unfortunately. So please don't kill the messenger here. I'm just bringing you the facts. I feel obligated to present both the good and the bad that I find. So let's cover what the current opinion is for additional stimulus payments from the Republican Party, from the Democratic Party, and from the White House. And let's start this off with the Republican side. In the last few weeks, we have seen many Republican members actually warming up to the idea of another direct stimulus. I've talked about this several times in my videos in the last few weeks. It's been exciting. It felt really promising. I was giving it a 65 to 70% chance that we actually see another direct stimulus payment, as well as the potential to reform unemployment, but that's really up in the air right now as to what exactly might happen there. So let's take a look at where we're at now, because man, these things sure do like to change every single week. So even though the House passed the HEROES Act last month, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell hasn't even scheduled a vote on the Senate relief package. This would be the package that would be in return to the HEROES Act, kind of like the rebuttal, presenting what they feel should be in the next relief package, because many people didn't like the HEROES Act. They felt it was too extravagant. There needed to be something more modest and directly targeted. The goal has been to get a vote on the Senate and get this bill put together and have some kind of relief before the 4th of July recess. However, instead, Republicans seem to be first focusing on the National Defense Authorization Act and the Great American Outdoors Act. So, because these other propositions are getting focused on beforehand, this may mean that the next relief package could get extended even further. And remember, McConnell has been trying to wait and see before any decisions are made, meaning they wanted to see how the effects of the CARES Act and other stimulus packages pan out before they give out any additional stimulus. They've been saying this for months now at this point, and it seems he still feels this way despite the fact that he recently was expressing that another relief bill will likely happen. However, that timeline just keeps getting extended, and then what might actually be in a relief bill, we're not really sure at this point. Beyond the fact that we don't have a vote set for the next relief bill, many Senate lawmakers seem kind of iffy that another relief bill should even include more direct payments. Senate Republicans just yesterday said that they're more concerned about figuring out how to best provide assistance for state and local governments who are now mostly cash-strapped and don't really have anywhere else to go, and reforming the Paycheck Protection Program. I personally really hope that we see a decision made for the Paycheck Protection Program this week. The Senate has had 6 days to think about the relatively small changes that the House has already approved, and the clock is really ticking on this program, with businesses' 8-week forgiveness windows expiring every single day at this point. There are businesses whose loans are expiring, and these bills will greatly affect those businesses. So I think that needs to be a really high priority, and just get a decision made on that. It doesn't seem that complicated. Beyond this, Senator James Lankford says, and this is paraphrasing, the original checks were passed to get cash out to the people as quickly as possible. But the situation has now changed, and that isn't as much a necessity. Things need to be more narrowly targeted. This sentiment I don't necessarily agree with, at least completely. Yes, we aren't as concerned about having everyone stay home because there's less uncertainty about the current pandemic that we're in. It's not solved, but there's less uncertainty. People are coming back to work, things are reopening. However, the economy is in a far worse off situation now than it was just a few months ago. I mean, just the unemployment numbers itself speak enough to that. Then from there, we have Senator Mitt Romney, who feels it's unlikely that Congress will fund another stimulus check. He feels Congress should instead be looking at unemployment benefits and aid to state and local governments. So In summary, at this point, it's hard to find a Republican senator that is all for direct payments. I did some searching. I didn't find anyone who's like really out there, like, speaking for it and trying to convince others. I personally take this with a grain of salt simply because we've been in this situation before and the consensus has changed. Senators' minds have changed multiple times before, just flip-flopping back and forth. And this flip-flopping, honestly, is like that couple that everyone knows who loves each other one week and then hates each other the next. We just all want some certainty at this point. So let's move on to the Democratic side. Even on this side, it seems the support for direct payments are waning. Many people feel payments either need to be more targeted or the focus needs to be shifted elsewhere. Democratic Senator Christopher Coons said, and this is a quote, "My concern is that it's not focused in a way that is designed to help create or help sustain jobs, to deal with rental housing or education." He said, "My top priority is a robust round of assistance to state and local governments." So, that's just one account from one person, but the consensus is really leaning kind of towards what he's expressing there. And then we have the Senate Democratic leader, Charles Schumer. Now, if you want a direct stimulus payment, you should absolutely love this guy. Schumer has personally argued for hours in the Senate for additional relief bills and additional stimulus checks. If you go back and look on C-SPAN on who's arguing for stimulus checks, it's been this guy. However, his focus has slightly shifted as well in the last week, mostly in the wake of all the riots that are going on right now. He's more recently and more urgently been pushing for a police reform bill. And this is definitely delaying his push for more stimulus. And as a side note, I know this is not my area of expertise, but I have debated on doing a video covering the potential police reform bills. Is this something that you guys would be interested in? I attempt to present the proposals in the most unbiased way I can, really just breaking down what exactly the proposals are and what they mean. Let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. So, in summary, on the Democratic side, we're looking at not necessarily less support, but somewhat a priority shift. I believe that priority shift will be temporary because looking at the statistics, we're still looking at record unemployment levels and record low spending. If that doesn't go away quickly, these problems about stimulus packages, stimulus checks, are going to come right back to the top of mind for legislators. And then finally, let's talk about the White House and their opinion on more direct payments. Just recently, Trump made a speech where he had mentioned that he thinks, recently being like a week and a half ago, where he thinks we'd be getting another payment out to the people in the form of a direct stimulus. This was exciting for everyone, just like another piece of the puzzle just fitting in the stimulus package puzzle. Now, we don't have any direct updates from the White House itself regarding stimulus payments and the likelihood, but we do have a quote from Senator Lindsey Graham, who is very close to Trump, and he doesn't feel enthused about another round of stimulus checks, unfortunately. Does this mean that Trump and all of his associates are against the idea of another stimulus payment? No. However, the more of his close colleagues that are against the payment increases the likelihood that he too will be against it. I'm sure it won't be long before we get another comment on the situation from Trump on this, so right now all we can really do is speculate based on what his colleagues are saying. Overall, I sincerely hope that this video isn't too disheartening to you. I feel obligated just to bring the most up-to-date information I can, whether it's good news or bad news. I still personally don't believe a second stimulus payment is completely out of the question. However, I'm going to lower my probability to a 50 to 60% chance that we actually get another direct payment. When we'll actually see another stimulus package is a whole other question. I'm starting to lean towards it being sometime in July, depending on how long the riots and the civic unrest last, because that's all taking up energy and time from our legislators that would be put towards these stimulus packages otherwise. So hopefully they figure out some solutions there, some reform, that way they can put their energy back into the stimulus packages. If you would like to get a piece of good news, you can still get 2 free stocks through the brokerage Webull, W-E-B-U-L-L, if you use my link in the bio below and deposit $100 into your brokerage account. And the best part is I took a look at the terms and conditions of this promotion, and let's say you deposit $100 into your account and you get $50 worth of free stocks and you don't like the service. After 30 days, you can actually pull your $100 out and keep the stocks. And remember, it's a free service, so you really have nothing to lose by trying it out, to be completely honest. Something to think about. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.